Everyone's making a big deal regarding Islam Makhachev's his physique. What do you guys make of this? Is this changing your opinion on the fight? Is this making you think that he's got a better chance at beating Jack Della? We have the footage, right, of him walking around. We've shown it a couple times. Yeah, there's Usman, and here's old Islam. Here's your man Islam. PT, what do you make of this? Everyone going crazy over this 5-second clip.
Yeah, I mean, he's beefed up, isn't he? But I expected him to be. Like, he's emaciated at 155. I think most people are making a thing about it, like, you know, the creatine thing. I think that's why it's a big deal. Oh, I just started taking creatine and now I'm...
Now then, so hold him. Hold him. Okay. Huh?
And I checked the idiot for the city. This was that. Right.
Islam Makhachev sends a clear warning message to JDM ahead of UFC 322. The former lightweight king isn't just confident, he's calculated, focused, and already planning his welterweight legacy. This Saturday at Madison Square Garden, we're witnessing history. Islam Makhachev, the most dominant lightweight champion ever, steps up to challenge Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight title. But here's what's crazy. Makhachev is bringing the same elite talent with new energy, and he's not holding back on his plans for the future.
Weekend, it is potentially one of the greatest pay-per-view fight cards of the year. UFC 322, going down in New York, Madison Square Garden. It is always a fabulous fight card from top to bottom, and this one is no different. This might be one of the very best fight cards of the year. Of course, 2 title fights in the main event at the top of the bill, but all the way down on the early prelims, we've got tremendous fights.
In this video, we're breaking down Islam's warning to JDM, his transformation at welterweight, and exactly who he wants next after UFC 322. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about the warning Makhachev just sent to the champion. At the UFC 322 pre-fight news conference, Islam was asked where Jack Della Maddalena ranks among his toughest opponents. His response, brutally honest. Quote, "This is the biggest fight in my life. Biggest test in New York in Madison Square Garden. He's in the top 3. He's one of the best who I've fought because he's a champion. UFC champion means you are a high-level fighter."
I told you, this is biggest fight in my life. Biggest test, you know. And like here in New York, in Madison Square Garden, it's gonna be hardest test, but I'm ready, you know.
But then came the warning. I saw his wrestling, his defense. If somebody takes him down, it's not like he's surprised. He feels good there. I know my skills are better.
No, not because of he bigger guy, because he's good, you know. He's good. I saw his fight with Bilal, with many guys. He's good everywhere, but I believe, you know, he's good in, yes, he's striking like pretty good, but I saw his wrestling, he can defend, his grappling, he like feel, if somebody take him down, it's not like something's, he's surprised, you know, he feel good also there, but I know my skill is better.
That last line, I know my skills are better, that's not trash talk. That's a champion who's studied every angle and knows exactly where this fight is going. And it gets even more savage. Della Maddalena has been talking about avenging his teammate Alexander Volkanovski's 2 losses to Makhachev. Islam's response? Alex also tried to get it back from the first fight. The second fight was not good for him. That's why it's not a good idea.
This fight was announced. He said he wants to get it back for Alex. What's your response to that?
Yeah, Alex also tried to get back from the first fight, and second fight's not good for him. That's why it's not a good idea.
Brutal. That's a reminder that Makhachev didn't just beat Volkanovski once, he beat him twice. And the second fight was even more dominant. The message is crystal clear. JDM might be riding an 18-fight win streak, but Saturday night at Madison Square Garden, that streak faces its biggest threat.
Jack Della Maddalena, 9-2.
You actually started your MMA career 0-2, and I believe you were fighting as a middleweight at the time, and you made a pact with your coach saying you're going to win your next 10 as a welterweight and you're going to make it to the UFC.
It seemed like a massive goal at that stage to get 10 wins in a row, but we just slowly worked at it and made it happen.
Is there any part of you that's like, I don't know, maybe I'm not cut out for this, maybe I shouldn't do this, you know, this isn't, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You definitely have like a little bit doubt in your head thinking maybe this isn't the sport for me. If I had have gone 0-3, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. So it's just a matter of getting that first win.
10-2, baby. 10-2.
Jack, or should I say Giacomo Della Maddalena, 7-0 in the UFC and 17 straight wins for the budding welterweight contender.
Now here's where things get really interesting, because we might be seeing the best version of Islam Makhachev we've ever witnessed. The reason? Simple. He's no longer killing himself to make 155 pounds. Islam revealed something incredible to ESPN. My life changed. When I changed the weight division all my life, I had to think about what I eat. Now I can eat whatever I want and smile.
My life is changed, you know. When I changed the weight division, my life is changed. Always, like all my life, I have to think what I'm gonna eat, what I have to eat for the dinner, you know. Now I can enjoy my camp, eat like whatever I want, and just smile and training.
Think about that. The most dominant lightweight champion in UFC history was operating at less than 100% because of brutal weight cuts. During fight week, the difference is night and day. Makhachev said, "I smile all week. Before I remember Monday and Tuesday, I have no energy, always thinking, where are you going to eat? How much are you going to eat? What is your weight?" But not now. I feel much different. All training camp, I enjoyed my camp, training with the big guys, and I feel more energy.
I don't feel much. I cut weights and like my energy go down, something like that.
All right. And throughout the build up to this, you said that for your legacy, you have to win a second title. Why is that? Just because so many others have won belts in 2 divisions, or is it just a personal goal that you've had and something that you feel you need to?
Because I thought like many times about the second belt, you know. I did my job in lightweight, like defend more than everybody and like fight in the big events, but now it's the good time to move, you know, and I know I deserve to fight for the second belt.
This isn't just about being more comfortable. This is about a complete physical transformation. Makhachev dedicated an entire training camp just to building muscle mass and putting on size. Then he went into another full camp training exclusively with bigger welterweight-sized opponents. He even joked, "I can wrestle with Khabib now because he is also very big."
Man, I just want to tell everybody I can fight with anybody in the like striking, grappling, wrestling, because I'm not just grappler. I can strike. I strike with Dustin, with Volk, you know. He can defend my wrestling, but I will strike and I will try to take him down again, you know. This is not striking match or grappling match. This is MMA fight.
Same elite grappling, same suffocating pressure, same fight IQ, but now with the physical advantages of a natural welterweight. That's the nightmare scenario for Jack Della Maddalena. He's not facing a drained lightweight moving up. He's facing a renewed champion operating at peak capacity for the first time in years. All right, so Islam wins on Saturday. Then what? Well, Makhachev didn't just show up to win a second belt and call it a day. He's got a legacy plan, and it's ambitious as hell. When asked about his goals after UFC 322, Islam laid it out plainly. Win the second belt, defend it, maybe more than Kamaru, and to become Hall of Fame, that's it. Wait, more than Kamaru Usman?
And welterweight, someone wanted to ask.
After Jack?
Yeah, after Jack.
After Jack, I think.
Bilal?
Not Bilal. Kamaru. Kamaru Usman. He had like most title defense in welterweight. Now he's in good position. Which number here? I don't know.
For those who don't know, Kamaru Usman defended the welterweight title 5 times over nearly 2 years. He beat Colby Covington twice, Jorge Masvidal twice, Gilbert Burns, and Tyron Woodley to win the belt originally. That's one of the most dominant title reigns in UFC history.
Islam Makhachev is the favorite to defeat Jack Della Maddalena. Now, I know I didn't just tell you something that's a surprise to you. I'll just share for you. Islam, according to to my partners at DraftKings, is the favorite and has always been the favorite. It is never hedged. The line has never dipped to beat Jack. But there is never a time that I can't go and look at a headline and have to hear how the advantage goes to the bigger guy.
Makhachev, who already broke records with 4 consecutive lightweight title defenses, more than anyone including Khabib, is saying he wants to surpass Usman's welterweight record too. We're looking at potentially the greatest resume in UFC history. Period. When asked where he'd rank all-time with a win, Makhachev smiled and said, "I'm going to be close, but I don't want to speak about that. Saturday night, I have a hard fight. We'll talk after."
Islam's a different breed, man. I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, he's a 155er, so he's not used to going with 170-pounders. I would not be surprised if Islam, his entire career, has been sparring with 55, 70, 185, and 205ers because the dude's kind of a nut.
Think about it. Don't you think Makhachev spars with welterweights on a regular basis? Of course he does. Do you think he tells himself, hey, I got really beat up by these welterweights that are fighting at the world-class level, and I think I should move up to welterweight? No, he's not thinking that. He's for sure doing really well against welterweights, world-class welterweights in the practice room. He's doing very well. He's dominating. And he's telling himself, hey, maybe I'll be even better at welterweight. Why? I'm killing myself making 155, and when I make 155 and I rehydrate, I'm not at 100%.
You know, from 45 to 55, when I made the switch, it didn't feel like guys were a whole lot bigger and a whole lot stronger. I didn't really notice it. That's a 10-pound jump. You know, maybe a 15-pound jump from 55 to 70 is a little bit different. I'm not sure. But the thing is, Islam isn't a small guy. He is big. You know, I'm not sure how big Jack is. I've never seen him in person. But I don't think Islam's going to be undersized when they face off. You know, I don't think it's going to be about the size. To me, it's going to come down to the execution. If Islam can secure the takedowns, Jack's takedown defense, his get-ups, I think that's going to be the story of the fight. I don't think size is going to be the story of this fight.
I will show you guys who is the best fighter in the world. For my legacy, it's important to take the second belt.
I'm going to break Islam Makhachev, take his pound-for-pound spot, and it's going to be a great moment for my career and my legacy.
Khamzat Chimaev, Israel Adesanya, and numerous UFC fighters are predicting a blockbuster showdown between welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena and lightweight king Islam Makhachev. Plus, the fighters themselves have been sending messages on social media that you won't want to miss. Let's dive in. Middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev didn't hold back when asked about his prediction. In a recent social media post, Boers made his pick crystal clear. I think Islam. Both are interesting fighters. Islam moving up is interesting. I think Islam is going to use more of his wrestling in this fight.
Islam, but I think Islam, we will see. Both good fighters. Islam moving up, it's interesting to see what's he gonna do. But I think Islam will be more, he gonna use his wrestling more in this fight.
Former champion Israel Adesanya believes Islam might be in for a rude awakening. I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him. When he puts things on him, he's like, oh, I'm not standing with this guy. I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up. Or he couldn't get him down because he's a big dude.
I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, oh shit, I'm not standing with this guy. I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well. He's solid.
UFC 322 is set to deliver fireworks as Islam Makhachev attempts to become a two-division champion by moving up to welterweight to challenge the defending champion, Jack Della Maddalena. This isn't just about a belt. Both fighters have made it clear legacy. The winner doesn't just walk away with championship hardware, they stake their claim as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. Chimav's reasoning is simple but strategic. He believes Makhachev's wrestling advantage will be the deciding factor. But Khamzat also opened up about his own experience moving up in weight, saying, "My life changed when I changed the weight division. Before, I always had to think about what to eat for dinner. Now I can enjoy my camp, eat whatever I want, and just smile and train. I'm much happier now. At 155, it was always difficult, always hard to make weight, and no one who cuts more than 10 kilos can ever recover 100%.
My life is changed, when I changed the weight division, my life is changed. Always, like all my life, I have to think what I'm gonna eat, what I have to eat for the dinner, Now I can enjoy my camp, eat like whatever I want, and just smile and training.
Yeah, are you much happier now than you have been over the last 3 years?
Sure, 100%. Last like 155, it's always, I make weight always, but it's so difficult, so hard always.
Do you feel like it ever impacted your performance? Obviously, you were the champion and you were performing better than anybody, but did you ever feel that like, I'm not as good as I could be, like because of the weight cut, I actually am sort of fighting at a lesser percent of myself? Did you ever feel that way?
Yeah, honestly, I feel that. Like, no one from the hard work, like who cut like 10 kg, like more than 10 kg, they never recover like 100%,
Could Islam experience a similar transformation at 170? Or will the size difference work against him? Multiple fighters have pointed out the elephant in the room. Size matters. And Jack Della Maddalena is not a small welterweight. Former middleweight champion Michael Bisping put it bluntly, if you've ever been around Volkanovski, he's not a very big man. Jack Della Maddalena is not a small 170-pounder.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got a point because Volk, we all love Volk, right? What a guy. He's awesome, right? He's just brilliant.
What a
all
guy.
round. He's the man. But if you've ever been around him, he's not a very big man. He is the man, but he's a smaller man, okay?
Yeah.
And that first fight with Islam, the first one, he gave him everything he could handle.
Yeah.
Jack Della Maddalena is not a small 170-pounder.
Renowned analyst Kenny Florian broke down the mathematics. Every pound counts in this sport. Going from 145 to 155, there's a 10-pound difference. From 155 to 170, that's a 15-pound difference. And when you look at their skeletal structure, JDM is just a much bigger guy.
Every pound counts in this sport. 45 to 55, there's a 10-pound difference, 15-pound difference when you're going from 55 to 70. And even more of that weight cut will come into play for someone like JDM. Weight matters, power matters. And you look at their structure, their skeletal structure, JDM is just a much bigger guy.
But let's talk about what Jack Della Maddalena brings to the table. This isn't just about size. JDM showed the world exactly what he's capable of in his title-winning performance against Belal Muhammad. Daniel Cormier was impressed. Seeing Jack defend takedowns in the way that he did, this dude's got some good boxing, especially when you're in tight. His hands are good.
Especially seeing Jack defend takedowns in the way that he did. And Islam, he struggled a little to take down Dustin Poirier. He didn't take him down as easily as he had taken down other guys. So I think that for Makhachev, he needs to really lock in on getting that wrestling ready to fight a guy in Jack Della Maddalena who showed great takedown defense. And, man, this dude's got some good boxing, especially when you're in tight with him. His hands are good.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson sees this as a nightmare matchup for Islam. It's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev, a bigger guy, a guy with great takedown defense, and a guy that just won the title from somebody very similar to Islam himself, Belal Muhammad. Cardio for days, strong grappling background.
Now, I think it's a good fight. I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev coming up. A bigger guy, a guy with great takedown defense, and a guy that's fought who just won the title from somebody very similar to himself. Bilal Muhammad, cardio for days, strong grappling background.
And here's the kicker.